Joining me on the line, as he does every Friday on the show, he's from Cinemablend.com. He joins me. You're a friend in Georgia right now, aren't you?
Yes. I am in Georgia, coming back home to Jersey this weekend.
Real quick, before we get into the meat of it, I made mention of this last week, but we just all wanted to send our best thoughts to you guys and everything that happened down in Georgia. So
yeah. Thank you very much. And it's been pretty rough, but as with anything of this magnitude, you sort of just take it one day at a time.
Yep. So we wish you guys nothing but the best, and to everybody down there that's involved. So as we get into why we're talking today, because we are not friends outside of this, Mike.
No, we're not friendly at all.
No, not at all. Mike Reyes, what do we got for movies this week?
This week we have a pretty cool sort of it's a horror movie, but I know a lot of people are going to start with that debate. Is it really horror? It's pretty horrific at times. Ben Wheatley's In the Earth. And basically the long and short of it is scientists and a park scout venture deep into the woods as the world searches for a cure to a devastating virus. And a whole bunch of weird stuff happens. That's as much as I want to say about what happens. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, so you liked it. You think it's good?
Yeah. Well, Ben Wheatley is a real fun director to follow to begin with. Some people may know him from films like Kill List, or he did the adaptation of Rebecca last year for Netflix. Or I think it was, last year for Netflix. And he also is going to be doing The Meg 2. And then there's a little movie he made called High Rise, with Tom Hiddleston losing his mind in a skyscraper.
I do not remember High Rise.
High Rise is another one I highly recommend. And Kill List, because I just watched Kill List for another podcast I started doing, and we got to talk to Ben Wheatley.
Wait a minute, you're doing another podcast?
Well, yeah, on top of yours.
You're cheating on me, huh?
It's not cheating if I fully tell you that our relationship was never exclusive.
Who is this podcast, Mike Reyes?
This podcast is called Overdue Rentals, and it is with my friend Matthew Shipman, who is a fellow film journalist from Den of Geek, as well as other publications.
And he's probably not near as cool as I am.
You're both cool and exciting in different ways.
Yeah, you're probably right. Anyways, Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com, joining me to talk about movies on my podcast, our podcast, not some stupid other guy's podcast. I like how you break this news to me in the middle of the podcast. Anyways, In the Earth.
Yes, In the Earth is it's something I like to call natural horror.
Okay.
And it's something that Ben Wheatley literally thought this thing up in the second week of lockdown last year. And it is a movie that it deals with a pandemic. It addresses the pandemic, but it isn't one of those movies where it's defined by the pandemic. It's very much, okay, this was inspired by it, and we're obviously going to have to tackle this in some sort of way through film. But we're not going to just do it through a cute Zoom call or through, hitting you over the head with the fact that pandemic. In fact, it really only comes up in the first act, and then the rest of the film just kind of does its own thing, which is a beautiful, trippy, disturbing sort of thing.
All right. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line to talk about movies. We head over to the world
it's in theaters next week.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
It's in theater. I think it's in theaters next week.
Oh, okay, cool. As we move into the world of movie news, what are we looking at? Anything big come up this week? I don't really recall a ton of oh my God, I can't believe that,
A couple of big trailers dropped. We got another look at the hotly anticipated by B-sox. Do not dispute this claim because it is true. Zack Snyder's zombie movie, Army of the Dead. And we also got a trailer for the B-sox approved, do not question it, The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
Oh, and F9.
Oh, yeah, that happened too.
You know what's weird about this whole thing? When you bring up these trailers.
The fact that, what?
There's not one. There hasn't been a movie that has excited me, to where I go, I need to go see this in a theater, since I think Endgame.
Ew. There's been others besides that.
There hasn't been a movie during the whole pandemic when we stayed away from movie theaters. Have I missed the movie-going experience? Absolutely. Has there been any movie that has made me go, oh, I have to go for this, or I can't believe I don't get to go see this? No, there really hasn't.
Okay, That's cool.
I'm sorry. There hasn't been a lot of movies that caught my attention over the last year or so. And I feel bad about it because I really do like going to movies. I like the experience. I miss going to the theater. There hasn't been anything I've been like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not one of those I don't like those art house movies I don't like those blockbuster movies. I'm on art house movies like Avengers Endgame.
What?
Yeah, that's where the meat of storytelling and cinema is. Mwah!
I'm sorry. It was the last movie I was really excited about. You want me to lie to you?
No. No, not at all.
I mean, really, do you want me to go, oh, yeah, I can't, the F9, can't wait for that thing. Oh, God, they're driving again.
Honestly, I wish they would have just ended it with Furious 7. Because Fate of the Furious was not that good. It was okay, but it felt like it was just easing off the gas and just slowly starting to fall into that decline. And even though John Cena is awesome, and I can't wait to see what he does with this, it's still kind of like, guys, you really should have just... Furious 7 gave you that perfect ending at the end with Paul Walker, and he just splits off, and that's it.
At some point, it has to end.
Well, Fast 10. That's what they're already... Fast 10 your seatbelts, folks.
God, there's going to be another one?
That's the last one, though. That actually is the last one.
Oh, sure it is.
Because they've been planning it as the last one, where they're like, okay, these are the dates. We were supposed to have F10 this year and F9 last year, and it was supposed to be the big ending. And even Vin Diesel's like, well, we could split it into 2 movies.
What?
No. Please, no. You overstuffed the 8th one, and I don't care if Justin Lin came back to direct. It's still, you're on borrowed time with this franchise.
Okay. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line right now. I will have you know I pulled up movies released in 2020, and there's a whole thing on Wikipedia about it. It's got the top 10 grossing ones of last year, too.
Yeah.
Bad Boys for Life. Haven't seen the other one. Sonic the Hedgehog. Saw it only in the theater because the kid wanted to go. Birds of Prey.
Another fantastic movie. Yeah.
Doolittle.
Yeah.
The Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Call of the Wild.
Okay.
Onward.
Yeah.
Tenet.
The more I watch it, the more I'm not sure if I like it.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't hold up as well as Nolan's other films.
The Croods, A New Age.
Never even saw it.
Wonder Woman 84.
Blah!
I think I've had that conversation with you, especially after the Justice League movie came out. But I like all the individual people, but I think the movies they're in are garbage.
They should have just stuck with the Zack Snyder plan to begin with.
Henry Cavill, great Superman. Ben Affleck, great Batman. Gal Gadot, great, an amazing Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
The movies are trash.
Yeah. Not all of them.
All right, so go back real quick. What is it about Tenet that you don't like? Or why is it falling off?
It isn't typical Christopher Nolan, engage. It's an interesting story.
Yeah.
But I think the more I've watched it, maybe the less it's just... Maybe it's one of those movies where I need to watch it every now and then when I'm really hungry for it and thinking, oh, wow, this is why I like this movie.
Huh.
Because I watched it a couple other times. It's like, okay, I like this story. The story's okay. I like the actors, but I don't get what it is that just, maybe it's because I've been watching it at home and maybe it really is like a theater experience.
It could be. Part of me, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way because it is not, I'm not comparing the two as saying they're on equal levels, but Nolan is kind of in that vein with me that is like M. Night Shyamalan, where it's always...
So? I mean, I go on.
Like M. Night Shyamalan, there's always some twist or some effed up thing, and oh my God, you didn't notice the cup of water at the very beginning of the movie that nobody paid any attention to? It saved the entire universe, or... there's always something going on. And Nolan has kind of that thing where, and we've had the conversation about, it's a deep movie and, I got to do a lot of thinking when I'm in this movie and so on and so forth. Part of me thinks that, if you're going into a Nolan movie, you got to be invested in it. That's no just, hey, I'm going to put that on in the background and just kind of let it run and listen to it.
Yeah, you really can't watch Tenet in the background.
You get what I'm saying?
When I tried to.
Okay, you want to make fun of Endgame. Endgame's a movie that you don't have to do a lot of thinking in.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of brain power going into a movie like that. Nolan movie, you got to be like ready to almost take notes.
Yeah. And why the hell not?
So I think that's what it is. And like I said, I'm not saying that they're bad movies by any stretch of the imagination. It's just, if you're going to go into it, you got to be ready to go.
Yeah. Well, you kind of need that for Marvel movies in a sense too, because it's like that you really need to be invested in the Marvel movie to really get what you can out of it.
Yeah. Okay, bad example then, but you get what I'm saying, where Nolan, that's a thinking man's movie maker.
No, I get that.
Okay.
I absolutely get that, and I don't think it's a bad example at all. You're ultimately, if you're not in it for any type of movie, you're not going to get anything out of it. But at the same time, Nolan does require a couple extra steps of like, okay, your mind is going to get bent. You really need to pay attention.
He's one of those guys that it always seems like you have an epiphany after seeing a movie of his.
Yeah, maybe that's another reason why it kind of pales in comparison to the other Nolan movies. It's because this really doesn't have like that big of an epiphany, especially if you watched enough Doctor Who.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting conversation. Maybe we should have another one like it at some point.
So bonus episodes are still a thing we should be doing.
Yeah. Well, with all this other time you're dumping into another podcast, I don't know if we have time anymore.
Oh, please.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joins me every Friday on the show to talk about movies. Mike, you have... Oh, real quick, shamelessly plug your new podcast.
Oh, right. You can hear me and Matthew Shuckman talk about movies that you probably should have already seen on Overdue Rentals. I will get you the social channels right now.
You don't even know them off the top of your head?
Well, so funny story about it is our name is basically had to change in different formats because of which platform had the name already taken.
Yeah?
Yeah.
On Facebook, you're at Overdue Rentals.
Yeah, I believe it's on Facebook. It's Overdue Rentals. There was a whole... I'm assuming you're looking at the post that I'm trying to pull up right now.
No, I just followed the page.
Oh, well, that's great. We've already got a follower.
There you go. Have you guys put out anything yet?
Our first episode is probably up today with Ben Wheatley talking about both In the Earth and Kill List.
All right.
On Facebook, you can find us at Overdue Rentals, facebook.com/Overdue Rentals, Instagram, Instagram.com/Overdue Rentals Show, and at Twitter, twitter.com/Rentals Overdue. If this goes big enough, we really need to buy these names out.
How do I actually find the show?
I believe we'll be going on to the usual platforms like Spotify, and I believe we're using Anchor to put the episodes out. But yeah, we should be where you find all fine podcasts. And
awesome. All right, Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joins me every Friday on the show to talk about movies. Have a great weekend, Mike.
You too, B-sox.